first, let me start by introducing myself. Hi, whoever joined, Lenny, Finkel, Gail, Yehuda. So my name is Leah Kineret Narboni, and a while back before COVID, I hosted four large kosher, natural, and holistic health expos. I had featured there many different people in many different natural, healthy, walks of life, and everyone did something different in the natural field when it comes to health and medicine. Bari is a dating coach, who I consider her to be as part of the natural health and wellness field because her approach to dating is very, very healthy and very mentally and emotionally, healthy and enlightening to everyone who takes the course, which is why I promote her and I believe in her work. I also do, I'm a practice integrative naturopathic medicine. And in my practice, I also take into account the emotional approach, was the mind-body connection. I very much strongly believe that the mind and the emotions and the traumas and all of that play a very big role in our physical health, as well as our mental and emotional health, but it really manifests physically for many people. Their innermost traumas, their innermost emotional issues. So, for example, something that I just say to people, for example, very simple, like if someone has a lot of grief in their life, it could affect their lungs. They can have constant, lung infections. If someone has a lot of fear, it can affect their kidneys, things like that. So all of these things are very connected. And that's about me. So now today we're going to talk and focus on Bari Lyman, who has a dating program that helps young people, well, anyone actually, to find healthy love through conscious dating. So Bari Lyman, she's the founder of the Meet to Marry, Get Unstuck in Love, which is a transformational dating method that has helped thousands of singles get unstuck in love, permanently break free from unconscious dating and relationship patterns, and summon their soulmate. She has been featured in New York Times, Match.com, JDate, and Self. Bari lives in Miami. She lives on a 5-acre nature preserver with her husband, Michael, who she's been married to for 19 years, and they're amazing rescue dogs. She loves dogs. They're also health enthusiasts and live a compassionate vegan lifestyle they came to together. She is really the perfect match for holistic health audience, and I'm excited to welcome her to share her wisdom today. So, hi, Bari, how are you?
Hi, Kineret. How are you? Thank you so much for having me. Hi, everyone. So nice to be with you this evening.
Yes. So Bari, would you like to describe a little bit about what you do in your own words and how you came to do it and
Yeah.
how it?
Yeah. So like Kineret was saying, I'm the founder of Meet to Marry, Get Unstuck in Love. So it's a transformational dating method that really permanently removes conscious and unconscious dating and relationship patterns so that you could summon your soulmate. And that's really what it's about. I was a relationship challenged person. In spite of being super self-aware, I still attracted emotionally unavailable partners. So the idea of being self-aware, most people say I'm a good person, I'm a loving person, I'm a spiritual person, I'm self-aware. But there's a big difference between self-awareness and knowing what's not working and creating a true embodiment for understanding and receiving conscious love. So thank God I figured it out and I changed my paradigm. And I created a method that really has helped thousands of people to find healthy love because it's out there and you guys deserve it. But no one teaches us really how to do it. And that's why we're here tonight to really talk about what is possible for you in terms of finding a wonderful soulmate. So that's really what I do, is to help people to break through with a plan.
How long ago did you come up with this program?
Yeah, so I came up with my program about 15 years ago, but my story goes all the way back to childhood. I started therapy at 12 years old. So I was really always involved in personal growth and all kinds of healing modalities that didn't really change my reality. And so, yeah, it's been about 15 years, and we help hundreds of people every year. And behind me is my wall of love. And we help all kinds of people from ages, 20s, all the way. My oldest client is 73. Because,
Wow.
right, we all want and need love. But
Yes.
unfortunately, it's like not modeled for us. And we get a lot of bad advice out there that doesn't really
Yeah.
make, yeah.
100%. I agree with that. So tell me why do you think your approach or what makes your approach different from other dating coaches out there?
Oh, so I could, excuse me, I consider myself a transformational coach. What's different about it is we get really future focused, right? We set a goal and we live into that goal. And then we come back to today and we look at the past and how the past has been impacting our present. So what's different is a lot of coaches and therapists out there. So each thing has its place for sure. But a lot of
Mhm.
coaches are working on the surface or telling people, oh, get more second dates or learn how to flirt or learn how to get a man to like chase you or be more goddess like. Or the worst one is don't focus on it. It'll happen. It'll happen when it happens. But what else in life do we really think of that way? Like if you want to become something, you want to become a lawyer, you want to lose 30 pounds, why would someone say to you, don't focus on it? Right? It'll just happen. You'll just lose the 30 pounds and get healthy. Don't focus on it. So there's just a lot of really, really bad advice out there. And I think
That's,
that people deserve better, really
yeah,
deserve.
I think you're so right about that. If you think about also like certain sects in the religious community, they are like looking at resumes for marriage like all day, every month they're looking at a few different resumes. They work at it. And that's a very interesting point that you brought out that people just say back and say it'll happen when it happens. It's not exactly when, if you want to get a good job, you don't just sit back and say the job's going to fall in your lap, right?
That's right. And they say that because they don't want you to feel like needy or desperate. But the truth is, there is a method. There is a way. What's different about what we do is that we really look at what it is that really clogs us up and blocks us from understanding true intimacy. And what really blocks us are stories and things from the past, limited beliefs and fears that we cannot band-aid. We can't band-aid them. We need to get to the root of it, understand it, and transcend it, and give you a new experience of yourself so that you can actually receive love. Because so many of us have walls and blocks and fears and trust issues, and all of that is from the past. It's all from the past. So I'll give you an
Right.
example. Like if
Yeah.
someone's mom, if you had parents where the parents didn't have a great marriage, uh, and the mom may have said to her child, to her daughter, don't trust men. You don't need a man. You don't need a man. And so what happens in her love life is she doesn't get one. She doesn't get a good one. But that's because she's repeating a generational pattern. But we have to learn, like, what is conscious love? Conscious love is the most beautiful thing. It's so Torah. It's like gravity. It's like something you can count on. But if we have trust issues and fears, and I don't trust men, then we go out there. And again, we're attracting what we don't want instead of what we really need.
Right. And what happens when you listen to that sort of superficial advice? Like if someone tells you, oh, learn how to, get on a second date, like how to get that second date. Why is that? Why is that not only not helpful, but why is it detrimental to your relationship?
It's very bankrupt to think that way because the truth is, when you understand what it is that you really need in a relationship emotionally, then we lead with that. And then we create a new understanding of what a real soulmate is. And a soulmate is essentially a goal mate, right? People say, oh, is there one soulmate? And the answer is no. It's really about alignment and timing and divine providence. And once we remove those barriers and those walls, and then you start to really vibrate true self love. Because a lot of people, a lot of us, we have fake self love. We say, oh, I love myself. But deep down, there's a story of unworthiness.
Right.
And so it doesn't matter what we say or project or how much success we have. What really matters is what we truly believe. So all of that is bankrupt. Or the worst thing, oh my God, is sometimes people teach singles like how to flirt or like how to text better. Like that is so dumb because we all have a different style. Like I'm an entrepreneur and a coach, and I'm from New York, so I have a certain style. Other people have different styles. What matters is alignment and meaningful conversations and coming together and knowing, are we for each other after like a conversation,
Right. Instead
right?
of putting yourself in a box and trying to like write a book on your life, you're actually living it and experiencing it. Instead of being afraid, what am I texting? You're just texting what you want to text. You're just being yourself,
You're
being real,
just being
being authentic. That's
exactly.
the key. So all these, right. So when someone tells you, how do you text? They're in a sense telling you, don't be real. Put yourself in a different box. Right.
That's,
So
that's
definitely.
exactly right.
So
Because the truth is, we know in our program a clear path to true healthy love. We have a different way of thinking that's rooted in principles that when it's right, it'll flow. How will you know? It'll flow. And
right.
and it's a beautiful thing to just be able to totally be yourself and
And
feel
when you say, yeah, that's the best. When you meet someone and you're just able to be yourself, that's really the best thing.
it is the best thing. And you're on the same timeline and you share a common vision, right? And you feel the way you want to feel, which is different than how you felt in childhood, right?
Right. Right. Okay. Very good. Yes, that was explained. Um, so next up on to my next question. What do you think is the biggest problem in the dating world today, in the modern dating world, from your experience, for women and for men perspective?
For sure, for men and for women, is that we don't feel clear when we
I,
go out to try and find a partner. We don't feel clear. And often we're just doing what I call mystery dating. And mystery dating is when you just either throw up a profile or you have a resume. Sometimes in the Orthodox world, we're looking at resumes, and those resumes are just like everyone's the same. The women are kind of teachers and nice and good, and there's 50 references, and the guys are learning and mensches, but there's no real understanding of the human being, right? We don't really understand that. So a lot of times we're out there wanting to find love, but like I was saying earlier, we have walls and we have barriers and we have trust issues. So we're not really being ourselves because we're attracting a mirror of our fears. So for example, if we had any abandonment or we feel not good enough, deep down, hidden, and you know what kind of people we attract? we attract people who will abandon us. We attract people who can't see us, who make us feel unworthy. And then we say, but there's no one out there. There's no one out there we're dating, which just isn't true. It's not true. Every day of the week, my clients start out stuck, and these are successful people. These are make it happen people, but in their love lives, they haven't been able to make it happen because love is about intimacy. It's about being seen. Sometimes we don't trust being seen. So that's the biggest problem is that we're not authentic and we don't really know how to invite in the right people. And then we go on the roller coaster of, ew, I hate dating. I'm going to take a long break to get to know myself. But that break to get to know yourself is usually just a relief from bad dating. So instead, we want to get rooted in effectiveness. And that's what a clear path to love teaches people how to do from the inside out.
So you help people to learn how to get connected to their authenticness.
That's right, exactly. First thing
Wonderful.
we do is we clear the barriers to love. We because a lot of times we're gooped up, we're stuck, we have limited beliefs, we have fears, we have trust issues. So the first thing we have to do is really learn what is the paradigm to understand love, to understand ourselves. And we do that in a structured way in like 3 weeks, right? And we clear those barriers that, gosh, most of you guys don't even realize are there. And then you kind of give up on love, and that's a shame because you deserve to have a partner. You're human. We all deserve to have love and someone that will really see us and build a life with. And then from there, we literally design a future that you can live into and feel. If you can't feel something, then you can't create it, right? And
Mhm.
then I teach you how to be an empowered dater, how to literally repel the wrong people and only invite in the right people. And we do this with everyone, whether you live in a small town or a big city, or a lot of people think they need to lose 20 pounds or wait until something happens or wait until I have more money or wait until this. But there's really nothing to wait for because the truth is, Kinneret and everyone, that your soulmate is waiting for you, totally waiting for you. So let's not make that person wait any longer.
Yeah, I agree. Very well said.
Thank
So
you.
I mean, I think you already answered this question, but I'm just going to answer it so people can get an idea. So, do you think that all of this unconscious dating is that what leads to the high divorce rate today?
What leads to a high divorce rate is that couples get married who are in the unconscious paradigm, meaning they don't really know themselves. They're dating the potential of another person. And sometimes there are things that are misaligned, but they're too afraid to address them. They're too afraid to talk about it. They're afraid they'll scare the person off. They just hope it's going to get better. But unfortunately, it doesn't get better. And what we learn is that in the unconscious paradigm, we attract people, like I was saying, who are like a mirror to our fears. So instead of stepping into a marriage where you're conscious, you're generous, you're mature, you're self aware, both parties, we're both getting into it where she's maybe a needy attachment style and he's avoidant. And then we're just triggering each other. Like, why are you not doing this? And she's not doing that. So instead of being best friends and solution oriented and leading with empathy and compassion, it's like anger and disconnection and unworkability. But the healthiest couples are solution oriented. So that's what we teach people how to be is healthy and conscious. And that's why we create conscious marriages. And
Mhm.
truly to change the world, the space between two people is sacred. So
Mhm.
if you're marrying into a generational pattern of someone that you don't even know, you don't respect, you're not growing with, then who suffers the most? The
You.
That's right. We suffer, the children suffer, then children grow up with low self-worth, and the pattern just continues. So it's my
Mhm.
belief that if we marry, if we heal ourselves truly, not in a conceptual way, then we're in a position to really have like a marriage that is going to thrive because we all need it. We need to be loved and accepted as we are, you know.
Yes, yes, 100%. I agree. So, what would you say to what are the most important things to notice or look for when you're actually, dating or want to find the right person?
So when you want to find the right person, the mindset is first, you have to be the right person. Okay, that's the first thing. And on a practical level, what we're really looking for, number one, is we need to be attracted. That's the first thing. People say to me, oh, but I feel like the attraction will grow. He or she is such a good person. Trust me, you don't want a platonic marriage and you don't want a marriage where you're not like really attracted.
So that's
Physically,
very interesting that's very interesting that you say that because most people will say, don't just go for someone that you feel a chemical connection with. You should always, keep an open mind and, date, maybe you will get it. So what can you elaborate on that? What makes you say that?
yeah, definitely. So it's not about attraction that is chemical, meaning like I used to date men who were handsome and charming, and they used to be like selfish, and there was no future because I didn't ask the right questions. Not chemical attraction, like heartthrobby. It's an affinity. It's an attraction. It's just a physical, like I could I could imagine kissing you, holding your hand. It's like when you're maybe people watching. You're sitting at a cafe and people are walking by, and you look at people and you're like, yeah, attracted, not attracted. Yeah, attracted. And it's in the eye of the beholder for sure.
So do you think there's ever a type of person who might not, let's say, after inner transformational work, might be attracted to somebody that they weren't attracted to before?
I think that once we realize that it's not about a type and it's not about a list, right? It's not about, oh, a checklist. It's more about first to be attracted physically. Number two is you look at the person's personality and how do you feel with that person. And in my Clear Path to Love program, you learn what your true emotional needs are. Like we all have trauma. I remember everyone's childhood stories because we look at that in Bye Bye Blind Spots. Like Canary, you had your share of trauma, right? And that trauma really, really affects our self-worth any way you slice it. And sometimes we learn to earn love. Like I don't feel lovable. So if I'm successful, then I'll be lovable. And then sometimes we mask a lot of our own pain through eating,
Yeah,
overworking,
or
shopping, right? All
over
those things.
overworking. That's yours truly.
Overworking, right? And then, we abdicate our true needs. We abdicate. We
Well,
say it's not that important, but it's more like because we don't know how to find someone. So then
right,
we distract, we drink wine, we watch Netflix. But truly, you don't want to be lonely anymore. No one should be lonely or sad or alone when you can have a partner. So
right. Well, I
go
think
back
that's
to the story.
very
Oh,
I
I
think
was,
just
go
said
ahead.
would be a huge relief for a lot of people who are constantly being told, "Oh, you'll learn to be attracted to him. You will learn to like him." I think that's a huge relief for people who are always so confused, like thinking that they have to like this person to be attracted when they're just not. That's a
No,
really good thing for people to hear, I think.
Yeah, no. It's because if there's no attraction, there's no fire, you know?
Right.
There's no fire, and relationships definitely need that passion, right? It's not like you don't want to marry your brother, right?
Right. Of course, yeah.
Right? Then you're just in a platonic situation and you're going to feel like missing the emotion, the physical intimacy. The second thing is how you feel with the person. And once you understand your true emotional needs and how you want to feel, because the personality doesn't change. And what you see is pretty much what you get. And when you're with someone that can meet your emotional needs, like when I met my husband, I met a lot of, in the old paradigm, I dated emotionally unavailable, narcissist. It was just very painful and lonely and frustrating. And it was a pattern.
So what
Once
would you tell someone now who's, let's say, dating someone right now and they have doubts? They're not sure if it's the right person. What would you tell them on how to look at the relationship to see if it's right or wrong?
Right. So I would tell them to look at how they feel in that relationship. And can they share about their true needs, like what they really want? When we talk about feelings and we look at the person that we're with, do they lean in? Are they willing to be empathetic? Are they willing to discover workability? Because sometimes we stay in bad relationships that are abusive, that are neglectful, and then we just wait and wish and hope it's going to change. So we want to make that relationship conscious and to be honest about it. Again, like I was saying, healthy relationships are where two people look at solutions. They're solution oriented. Like when I had done this kind of work for myself, because the truth was, is I felt like there was something wrong with me. And then when I dated these charming, emotionally unavailable guys, it just made me feel better about myself. But it wasn't rooted in anything healthy or future. So once I
Right.
had changed it, I would meet these people. I lived in Florida, Boca Raton at the time, and I was on JDate and other sites, and I would meet them. Once I made these changes, like I do with my clients in Clear Path, everything changed. Everything changed. The same town, the same sites, the same everything, but a different version of me. A me that
Wow.
had an understanding of my needs. A me that was rooted in self-love, that I had language, I had energy. I was literally attracting healthy, marriage-minded men. Same place.
Right.
When people say, oh, there's no one out there to date, they say it in New York, millions of people, there's no one worth dating. It's not the real, it's not the truth. So
Right.
we want to make those changes. And the third thing is that we need to share vision, values, and goals. Core
Mhm.
values must align. Timeline must align. And these are things we learn. What are our real core values? What is my world view? Right? And how do I open up to make such an invitation and then have a pipeline of the right people?
Right. So you teach people how to do that, how
All of
to
it.
open themselves up and learn, okay, that's
Yeah.
okay.
Right.
And
From the inner shifts to designing a future vision and making that vision real of finding your soulmate. And this
right.
happens in, 90 days. Our people find their person within 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And typically they marry within the year.
Oh wow. That's how you've had stories, many success stories like that?
That's the average. All the
Wow.
people behind me. And then I interview them 3 years later, 5 years later, 10 years later. I started to tell you before we went live about one of my clients, Pam. She thought she could never find the right person. And that's what most everyone says. I don't know if it's possible to find such a person. And they all do. And when you're empowered and you discover who you really are, she was saying she lived in Phoenix at the time. and her guy lived in where was I saying, in the Midwest, in Cleveland.
Hmm.
And when she saw his profile online, he had a certain book on his shelf. And I was saying, like, she's a palliative care specialist, and she's into social justice. And he's also into social justice. And she said to him, I can't move to Cleveland. And he said, well, I can move to Phoenix. And this was during COVID. And sure enough, they were talking every day. He went to Phoenix. They spent 4 or 5 days together. They did Shabbat. They really got to know each other. He met her children on the next trip. Then she went to him for 4 days. And they kept doing that. And they created a vision. And
That's
then one of
amazing.
the trips, they got engaged. They got
Wow.
engaged. Yeah.
Very. So what would you say to someone who says there's just no good men out there?
I
Everyone's
would say
awful.
it's awful. I would say that that is so not true. That there are wonderful, loving, generous men who really also want a partner, and they want to cleave, and they want to get married, and they're just waiting and looking for you. But remember, that person is on a high vibrational level. They've done their work. They are a secure attachment style. They're totally there. But now here's where I need you to have an open mind. If we are down here saying there's no more dating, and you still have trust issues, and you still have fears and limited beliefs and not feeling worthy and having fake self-love, then that's low vibration.
Right.
It just is. So the low vibration is attracting low vibration. It goes right through the ether. Wherever you go, there you are. So in
Mhm.
order to meet your person and understand how to be in a different reality, then you want to raise your understanding, raise your vibe, and then the two can come together. Because right
Mhm.
now, like when I was in that, I would not have recognized my husband in the way I was. So it's a beautiful transformational journey. And the way to believe in this is to know that if you exist, that your soulmate exists.
Mhm. Do you also coach people on red flags or, narcissism and things like that?
Of course. But remember, so the focus is on inner transformation and healing. To start to believe in something that's been so elusive, where you didn't get your needs met in childhood in the way you needed, right? We have wounds, core wounds. Then many of us marry someone who is just like our childhood, right?
Mhm.
And and so on. So really and truly, it's about understanding that your person again is out there, but we
Mhm.
have to be the one to find the one. We really
Right.
do. Yeah. Oh, you were asking me, I forgot your question. Red flags. So here's
Mhm.
the thing. Once you develop a very clear vision, one that you embody, most people do clear path. They're like, oh my God, I didn't realize that about myself. And you shift because when you first do this program in the first 3 weeks, you're not dating anyone. You're choosing yourself. The focus is on you. And so once you develop this new understanding and this new creation and this new language, you're not attracting the same kind of people. So instead
Mhm.
of it being about red flags, it's more about alignment. Well, he's not on my timeline. He's a good man,
Mhm.
but my vision is 2 children and to live in Israel for a month of the year. And he is 3 years out from wanting that and is not willing to travel. So it's not so much about red flags. Once we get into alignment, it's just about, it's about are we for each other? Makes
Right.
Yeah, but we learned that in our dating program and dating camp that happens in phase 2, we are building a pipeline. We are creating a dating plan. We are creating empowered dating mindset. We create a profile that's like a soulmate invitation that is so clear that people read. And so you're like avoiding the wrong people. Like,
Yes.
oh, right. So it's very much in alignment. And yes, it's totally hands-on. You're not doing any of it alone. We do it together.
Hmm. Okay, so that's so do you have many people who have, going for second marriages and in your program?
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of people are going for second marriages because they realize marriage number one wasn't good. Marriage number two also wasn't good. It was reminiscent. It was a different body, but that same feeling of not being understood and not being. So what we do is we kind of wipe the slate clean. We understand why we made those choices, and then we transcend into a
Hmm.
whole other reality.
And
And
is
yeah,
there a lot, is it mostly one-on-one or is it coaching? Like, how does that?
yeah, it's a perfect blend. And I want to say it's for people who've never been married. It's for people who are divorced once or twice or more. Or, it's really sweet. A lot of the clients are widows or widowers. And so sometimes widows are feeling like they can go 10, 12, 15 years or more without dating because they don't want to be disloyal to the partner
Right.
that died, and they just have unresolved grief and unresolved stories and unresolved so much. So we resolve it. We free them up. We put everything in the right context. I have a client recently, her name is Nancy, and she was in that situation and she was in grief and she was feeling like a victim. And once we cleared all of that, now she's with someone amazing who she met, and she lives in Nebraska. So when people say, I live in a small town, there's no more dating. That's right, because you're not going to see them. You're not going to recognize them. Once we get you into alignment, you realize, oh, my person was there the whole time. He lived a mile away. Won't even see them. So Nan met her guy, ironically enough, at a luncheon after a funeral. And but her heart was open, her energy was open, she had a clear vision. She gave herself permission. And at that luncheon, she meets someone who is also a widower. And they talked and they hugged, and that was the end of it. And then he went over to her house and he said, that was the best hug ever. And I just feel like there could be something between us. And then they spoke, they had a heart to heart, and now they're soulmates.
So
And
what
they're
would you say is a big challenge for, like, let's say a newly married couple when what would
yeah.
be the biggest challenge for a couple that just gets married?
Well, when a conscious couple gets married, then they're so excited about their whole life vision. It's not like two strangers coming together where it's like foreign and they don't know, because the dating itself was so effective. The conversations were so meaningful about their dreams, about their goals, about the future, about their core values, about what they want. These are real tachlis conversations. And so
Yes.
the healthy relationship begins on date number one. And if date number one goes well, only then will there be a date two or three or four. And so when a couple first gets together, they've had so many conversations and such an understanding that it's exciting. So I don't know. The biggest challenge is, I guess, just to, be fully present and be empathetic, but mostly it's fun because, like, wow, this is the beginning of our life together, and
Right.
dreaming and being best friends. It's really a beautiful thing. It's a shame that in conventional wisdom that people make fun of marriage, that marriage is thought of as like it gets worse over time. Healthy love gets sweeter and better over time. I'm married 19 years and we're still building our dream. We made a 30-year vision when we were first together, and we lived in Israel for 5 years. We renovated places. We started two Chabad shuls. We rescue dogs. We are vegan. We have like we work together.
Mm-hmm.
So soulmates are really goal mates. So it's really fun to get together with your partner and build something. Yeah.
I I agree. That's really nice. Do you help married couples as well who need coaching?
So I help, there's 100 million singles out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of singles. So our focus is mostly on singles and then developing them and then putting them through our relationship coaching. Once they meet their soulmate, then we coach them and teach them how to merge lives, how to merge finances, how to merge families, how to build a 30-year vision, right? How to be, because really, for everyone I work with, it's their first truly healthy relationship. So there's like lots to learn. But sometimes we work with couples, and that will be a bigger part of the vision in the future. But
That's good.
yeah,
Mhm. So I guess you would say that one of the biggest challenges to finding healthy love is being willing to do the inner work that you need to do to get there.
that's right. It's to have
Open mind, yes.
an open mind, a beginner's mindset. So anyone here today, my question to you is are you willing to have a beginner's mindset? Like, are you willing to be in the question of what might be getting in my way? Like the things that I don't know, I don't know. Am I willing to really open up to love? That's really,
So I That's right. So I do understand you having a special workshop that's coming up, right, for Valentine's Day.
it
So
is.
why don't you go ahead, tell everyone about it? I'm just
Okay.
going to here for about a minute. I just want to plug in my device, but why don't you go ahead and start telling people about your Valentine's Day workshop?
You got it. It's happening this coming Sunday, February 11th at 12 Eastern through February 18th. And we're going to kick it off on Sunday. And what we're going to do in our workshop is go deeper in these topics that we're talking about right now. It's going to be experiential, right? You're going to learn about what's getting in your way. You're going to think differently. You're going to discover, like, what is it that is could be blocking me? You're going to learn how to design a vision. You're going to learn about empowered dating. You're going to learn about all different things that lead to inner and outer transformation. And in that workshop, it's going to be again, we're going to do exercises. You're going to learn, you're going to meet case studies, and we're going to tell stories, but it's going to be very hands on. You're going to have a workbook, and it's going to be something that will be something really to remember. And I'm going to share with you what happens in Clear Path to Love. And I'm going to share with you how you can be a part of that if it's something that you're ready for. If you're tired of being alone, if you're sick of being like a third wheel, if you don't want to be alone next Valentine's Day, then definitely join me. It's going to be a great experience. We're going to have a lot of fun and a lot of learning.
Can you go into more like what is the workshop? Is it a 1 day thing? Is it a few days? Is it a few hours? Can you
Yeah,
more
Yeah,
detail?
yeah, it's going to happen every day from February 11th to February 18th. We're going to end it with a date night on Sunday, the following Sunday, and it's going to happen at 12 Eastern each day. And you'll get a reminder and you'll get a workbook and it'll be experiential. And it's for those of you who are sick of being alone, who are sick of wondering, where is my partner? If you're tired of saying, I'm such a great person, I have so much love to give, I have so much to offer, it makes absolutely no sense that I'm alone. If you're wondering why you meet the wrong people, why dating is so awful, we're going to change that. And so, yeah, come and join
For
me.
the How do people sign up for the workshop? How do they get in touch with you if they're wanting to learn more?
Yeah, to register for the workshop, just go to meettomarry.com/soulmates with an S. And we'll drop that link in the chat and we'll drop it on the live stream.
Mhm.
linktree.com/soulmates. And if you're actually excited about this conversation and you feel like, wow, this is just what I've been looking for. I don't want to be alone anymore. I don't want to just hide out or think that it's not in the cards for me when it is. Then what I recommend that you do is book a clarity call. Book a clarity call with me and we'll look at your life. We'll look at what's working. We'll look at what's not working. But most importantly, we'll look at your dreams. And then we'll talk about Clear Path, which is a customized plan for you. It's a blend of group coaching. It's one-on-one. It's an effectiveness. It's the fastest way that I've seen human beings transform because you're getting loved on. You're getting the information that you really, really need, and none of it is conceptual. Every single word, everything that we do is directed to you so that you have love, so that you have the kind of partner that you want. And to do that, to schedule that time, you go to meettomarry.com/step into love. Step into love. And we'll make sure to drop the links under the recording. So if you're watching this video as a replay, we'll be sure to drop those links so that you have it.
Sounds
And
great.
yeah.
Can we take questions from anyone if anyone wants to ask questions live? Is there anyone here who'd like to ask Bari a question?
Yeah,
You can raise your hand
sure.
or there you go.
Yes. Yeah, I do. Mary, hi.
Yeah.
Thank you for this call. Uh, wow, I feel like I relate a lot to about being authentic. The being authentic allows authentic love, and I feel I relate to that chat that obstacle.
Yeah.
Um, for I think that's I feel like that's my personal obstacle, which is not feeling not not being authentic to myself. So that's blocking out true love, because I am not just first I need to love myself, be authentic to myself, and then that would allow me to feel feel love and feel I feel that I feel the right kind of love that's authentic for me.
That's right. To
Um
feel deserving. Exactly. And sometimes finding self-love is, to me, is something that we get to the root of it, because sometimes we just feel like, oh, we should love ourselves, or I'm worthy. But deep down, I know from personal experience and all that therapy and all that, energy healing and all the things I did, and Tony Robbins and rah rah and all that good stuff. But it didn't really get me to self-love, authentic self-love, or a plan. So getting to that is the ultimate healing of not really caring about what other people are thinking or living for other people. It's really getting to a place of I'm for myself and I believe in myself regardless of the trauma that I've lived through. So yeah. So definitely sign up for our workshop.
Thank you,
okay,
Bari.
thank you.
Okay. So all right, so I guess we're gonna have your link put on, right?
Yeah,
Anyone
absolutely.
wants to join?
That's
Yeah, if
right.
anyone wants to join your session, your workshop. And also the link for someone who wants to do a call, right? Private call.
Exactly. Yep,
Well,
definitely. Right. If you
okay.
feel ready. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So if as I said, it's an honor to have Bari Lyman to have this interview with you today, that you came and we did this, because I really do believe that this is a healthy approach to life, and not just dating, to life, and I honestly do believe as well that this kind of a program is enriching to the self. It's not just about, a lot of other programs out there is just like, oh, find what you want fast. But this is
Right.
although you say you have good, fast results if you do, but it's also about so self-enriching that it's not about, always, the immediate self-gratification. It's about doing it the right way for the long term, the
For the
long term.
long term. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. And the side benefits, you feel better, your health is better, your abundance is better, like relationships with other people is so much better. You feel so much more connected to your world, to your community, right? You become a creator separate from blind spots and fears and things that hold us back. So, Kinneret, that's right. That's a really, really good point. Really good point. And
Thank you.
I'm really proud of you, and thank you. Right, you're amazing. You're doing great work with people. You really are.
Thank you. Same to you. I feel the same way.
Thank you.
Okay. Highly
Great.
recommend Bari Lyman. So it's great to have you for tonight. And I guess we'll sign off. We'll put the recording for anyone who needs it.
Absolutely. All right, Kinneret. Bye, everyone. Have a great night. I look forward to seeing you.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.